Hello, my name is Alan Isfan, and I'm CEO of FaithQuest, the company behind MyEventApps. I'll be presenting the 10 tips and tricks to include sponsors in your event app. Let's go. Alright, so here are the 10 tips and tricks. First, we're going to start with including logos in various parts of the app, such as the welcome page, the home page. Then we're going to move on to banners in the apps, including logos on maps, running contests with the FrameItCam, collecting emails through various activations, exclusives that are sponsored, push notifications, and marketing. So let's dig in. Alright, the first page that people view when they launch our apps, we call the welcome page. Typically it's displayed for about 3 seconds, and it's a great opportunity to create a first impression both for your festival but also the sponsor that is supporting the app for the festival. So first impressions matter, and we want to do a good job of this part. The next page is the home page. This is the main navigation page that the people go back to on a pretty repeatable basis to dig into presenters, schedules, maps, and all sorts of other things about your event. So it is a very high visibility page, and the graphic behind the buttons is customizable. In this particular case, we just provided app sponsored by the particular sponsor in this case, but of course the graphic can include an offer or anything else for that sponsor. Next is the clickable banner. Now this banner shows up in nearly every page, including the home page that you saw earlier. It is a rotating banner that it really has no limit in terms of how many banners you can put on there. You can control the timing of the rotation, and so if you use that banner for other things like announcing events and alerting viewers to various things, you can provide your sponsor a bit more time on the page by setting their timer a little higher. Now we do count the number of views, and we also count the number of clicks of that banner, so that's something that your sponsors would certainly love to get a report on. Alright, Mapvertising. Now, pretty well every app that we build, because it's mostly for events, we include a GPS map. That gets people directions to the various locations where the events are taking place. And normally the locations are marked by the standard red pins that you've seen before. Now, our solution actually allows those pins to be changed, and typically we've used that to highlight key locations such as restaurants, hotels, and other points of interest. Now, because the graphics can be changed, one of our clients had the idea of approaching their sponsor with that, and that's exactly what happened. So Sobeys, a Canadian grocery store chain, was the sponsor of this app, and by virtue of that, they got really good placement on the map. Now, not only are the pins actually their logo, but the pins themselves are clickable, and they will lead to a full page with whatever information the sponsor wants to include. It can be things like opening hours, specials of the week, and perhaps even special promotions that are tied to the event itself and the festival that they're supporting. So this is a really neat idea that one of our customers came with, and we're starting to see more and more people doing things like this. Alright, the FrameItCam. The FrameItCam is something that we've been building into our apps pretty well right from the beginning. People love taking photos, and they love to certainly remember where the photo was taken, and so what we do is we build a souvenir frame around these photos. The photo and the frame get merged into one picture, and that picture can get posted to Facebook, they can be posted to Twitter, they can be emailed to friends. And we have an optional photo contest. Now, as you see in this particular example, this photo in the contest was sponsored by Miller Lite. So it's a great way to have fun, but also include the sponsor, especially if the sponsor is part of the contest and the prizes that are given away. Sponsor activation is really very important. In effect, sponsors love to provide something in exchange for contact information. In this particular case, it's just a simple email that the user provides. They hit submit, and the sponsor gets that email, and the user gets entered into a particular contest. So this really goes beyond just having logos on the app, and really takes advantage of the fact that people have the app in their pocket, and provides a lot of value to the sponsors and the users of the app as well, because they can win things. VIP access. This is something new that we're building into our apps now. And the real idea is that the app now becomes a VIP access badge. Now, it could be very light, meaning that we can just build that page into the app, and by virtue of having the app, you get into a particular area of the event that perhaps others do not particularly exclusive. Of course, if you want to make it more exclusive, there are a few things you can do. One is you can simply provide a contact form ahead of this page, so that if you provide your contact information, you are now allowed to enter the VIP area. Or you can hand out user IDs to various VIPs. They enter that into a login page before this page shows up, and if they have the right user ID and password, this page shows up, and they're now a VIP, and this is their badge as a way to get in. So access control. Push notifications. Now, if you have a smartphone, you've probably received push notifications before. It's a very powerful way of sending alerts to people that have downloaded the app. And the really neat thing about that is that the alerts will show up on the phone even if the app isn't active in the forefront at that point. So perhaps they might have downloaded the app a few months ago when you announced the lineup or something about your event, and nothing has really happened since then, and all of a sudden now your tickets are going on sale. And so they don't really need to check the app for that. You send a push notification, it pops up on their phone, they click on it, it launches the app and brings them right back. So it's a great way, certainly for sponsors as well, to be integrated, because those messages are controlled by you, and they optionally have a clickable call to action that can lead people to a website or a microsite that the sponsor would have put together, or that you put together for the sponsor around a particular promotion. So a great way to reach out to people. Lastly, marketing. This isn't specifically a feature inside the app, but it is a very important component of just ensuring that users of the app really are familiar with the app, knows what it does, and also for those that are not familiar with the app, find out about it. So typically we'll design and provide posters to our customers that they can put throughout their venue to make sure people know about the app. Now, by doing that everywhere, including posters, including the website, including any other promotions around the event, it's a great opportunity to include the sponsor as part of that. And so even if people that don't necessarily download the app will actually see that the sponsor is supporting the community and supporting your event. Often missed opportunity. All right, a couple of bonus tips. We have found that although you can individually sell the different sponsorable opportunities to different sponsors, for example, you could be selling the homepage to a particular sponsor, but then sell banners to others. We found that the most powerful and most profitable way of doing this is by offering the entire app sponsorship just to one sponsor. And we found that our customers, when we work with them, are able to get their sponsors to lock in for multiple years, which is fantastic. Now, the app sponsorship on its own is great, but we found that often the event organizers can provide really special things that don't necessarily cost them anything, but just an extra little sweetener for the sponsor to jump in. Maybe it's some free tickets, maybe it's VIP access. If you're running a festival, having some backstage or meet and greet with particular artists is a great way to do it, especially if there are things that nobody can really buy. They're that exclusive. Bonus tip number 2, and this is no surprise, sponsors love stats. Now, if it's the first time that you have an app for your event, it may be difficult to predict exactly how many people are going to download and use the app. But at the very least, you can tell your sponsors that you will be able to provide them a pretty thorough report of what happened. So we provide various stats and downloads by stores, upgrades, where the downloads have come from, and information like that. Because we integrate social media into the apps, people will share from the app to Facebook and Twitter, and when they do that, we are now able to capture stats of all of the Facebook users that use the app and provide interesting demographic and psychographic information directly from Facebook and Twitter. Lastly, the questions that we often get, and certainly sponsors will want to know, is what's going on with the app, how is it being used, not just how many people are using it, but are they using the photo tools, are they sharing photos, and so on. That's of course very important if the sponsor is part of the FrameItCam. So you can rest assured that you can provide really thorough reports for your sponsors after the fact. And of course, because this is so new to so many people, education is a key component of being able to get a sponsor on. So showing them a demo of an app is always very worthwhile before yours is ready. Communicate numbers and trends and tell them how hot the mobile market is and how fast it's growing and how popular apps are. For example, more than 100 million apps are downloaded per day. That's a pretty impressive number. And then lastly, you can show them a mock-up of your own app. You can work with us and we'll support you in that, really providing a polished design with their logo integrated in all the various places. Really allows them to visualize the end result and how cool it is that they're going to be integrated into this app and be in front of all of these people. So that's it. I want to thank you from FaveQuest and MyEventApps. Please contact us for more information. My phone number and email is down below. If you wish to know more about MyEventApps, sponsorship, or any other topics, please feel free to reach out. Thank you very much.